So the announcement is the live event this week. There's going to be a link in the bio. Okay. Yeah. Sweet. Hey, everybody. We're going to be doing, if you're catching this live or this recording of this live, we're going to be doing a free training this week. So on, what day is it? On Wednesday, it's 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're going to go through the different time zones just in case you guys don't know. It's going to be 5 p.m. Pacific Time. So if you're on the West Coast, then 6 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a training on building a cash buyers list for free, right? We make an average of $27,000 on every single wholesale deal. One of the main reasons this is possible is because we have a list of buyers that it's crazy, because what will happen is if you do not have a good buyers list, certain deals that would be money are not going to be money, right? We fluctuate drastically on our offers on every single deal. And it's weird because $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 more than our other offers, where on other deals, they'll be one of the lowest offers. What we have found is our cash buyers will have moments that they're motivated or need to buy a deal or need to put employees or money to work, and other moments they have too much inventory and they're not ready to buy. So building a big buyers list may make or break your success as a real estate wholesaler. So before you go out and find sellers, before you go out and do driving for dollars and find discounted houses, you got to have a buyer's list. And that training this week is going to be a free breakdown of exactly how to build your cash buyer's list. We're going to give you 3 free ways and 1 almost free way to build your cash buyer's list in a handful of hours. We're going to go through the training on exactly how to do that. On top of that, we're going to be giving away my real estate wholesaling contracts. That's a contract that you'll sign between you and the seller, as well as a contract that you need to sign between you and the end buyer. Guys, I have paid for just these contracts. I paid about $2,000 for these contracts. I paid my attorney. On top of that, this is the 3rd set of contracts that I've gone through. I've had to deal with litigation. I've had to go to court over real estate transactions, and having a solid contract is also going to make a major difference of the success that you guys have in real estate wholesaling or real estate investing in general. So I'm going to be giving you guys those contracts. I've spent thousands. I've probably spent about $6,000 overall to attorneys on the different contracts that I've gone through and edited and had revised because of different situations I've dealt with as a real estate wholesaler and real estate investors. And you guys are getting it for absolutely free if you come to this live training. So the link to this training to get the training on building your cash buyers list, as well as my contracts, is in the link somewhere around here. In the description of these lives is where it is. So make sure you register for this live training. Make sure you come live so you can get those contracts. So please make sure you do that. Also, I want to do some Q&A here. But before I get into Q&A, so start typing out your questions. I'm going to do some Q&A. But you know, one of the things that I want you guys to understand is, if you're trying to get into real estate investing and you guys are new to this concept, many times you think you have to have a rich uncle or an amazing credit score to get started in real estate investing, right? You need tons of money and good credit, and you need to get debt, and it's super risky and super scary. And I want you guys to know that is not true. It's not true at all. And I remember learning about this, and it was a game changer, because what I learned is, to be a successful real estate investor, you have to get good at finding deeply discounted houses, right? Because if you can have a system where you find discounted houses, you can pass on that opportunity to your buyers list. And that's what I'm going to help you do, is build that buyers list and then give you the contracts to be able to sell those opportunities for a finder's fee. So you don't have to have credit. You don't have to buy the houses. You don't have to have a rich uncle to help you out. You don't have to do anything. Guys, I was a broke window cleaner and I now make over $1 million a year as a real estate wholesaler, right? It has completely changed my life. It's doing the same for so many others, right? So come to this free training, understand the concept of real estate wholesaling, which is how to get into real estate investing without deep pockets, getting debt, credit, none of that stuff, right? Also, you're getting my contracts, you're getting the training on how to build a buyer's list. So come to that free training Wednesday. Let's jump into some Q&A, and the links for that live training are in the description.
What do you do with a property that's old and vacant in a nice neighborhood with no owner because they all passed away? Rephrase the question.
Yeah. So the question is, what do you do with a house that's completely vacant? No one lives in it because everyone's passed away that's part of the family. I assume that you know this because you've talked to the neighbors. So when we do driving for dollars, look for ugly houses, vacant houses. This is one of the main things we look for is these vacant houses that have been abandoned. What's crazy is you may not think they exist. There's tons of them all around you. I've had so many students come onto my podcast, the Driving for Dollars Mastery podcast. One that comes to mind is Dominique Brown in Texas. We shared one where everyone had passed away. He ended up hiring a private investigator to go track down to see if there's any other family members alive associated with the person that had passed away that had previously owned the house. The house had sat vacant for about 3 or 4 years. Found out there was an estranged son of the deceased that was in prison. He was estranged because he was I don't know how inappropriate it would be to say this, but we'll just say he deserved to be in jail. And for that, he was estranged from his family. And this private investigator figured this out. Our student, Dominique Brown, actually sent money to this guy and a letter. So he would actually give him time and attention, right? If by sending $100 to this guy, as well as, for him to buy like toothbrush, toilet paper, things like that in prison, and then send a letter explaining, hey, you were potentially the beneficiary of this house. I would love to buy it and help you get ownership, transfer ownership using the probate process. Anyways, he was able to make over 6 figures on this deal. So you guys can go watch the podcast. It's Driving for Dollars Mastery is a podcast with Dominique Brown, and you can see how you approach those vacant houses where you have no idea who owns it, right? And we'll break down how to find those owners and how to do those deals. So great question. Great question. That deal that you have, that vacant house that you don't know who owns it, that could be literally $100,000 waiting for you.
What up, brother? How many pieces of mail to a lead and a lead to contract for your direct mail in Utah?
Gotcha. So the question that I just got was how many leads, how many addresses does it take to get a lead, right? Or a seller. And then of those leads, how many turn into a contract for postcards here in Utah? I'm going to answer that by saying I spend, and it depends on the list, right? It depends on the list. So if I pull a list from PropStream or listsource.com, that's a list that anyone can go buy of homeowners, and you can do different filters of like how long they own the house, how much equity. You can also pull lists that they have evictions on the property, or it's going through probate. So you can buy these generic lists, right, and different filters. And I don't really market to them because I really struggle to get profitability out of those lists because everyone's marketing to them. So I mostly do Driving for Dollars for a reason, right? And I pull a list doing Driving for Dollars. I add about 100 properties for every single hour of driving that we do. We add right now in Utah about 1,300 to 1,500 addresses every single week. We were doing more than that, but we've cut back on the areas that we drive. So we do about 1,300, 1,400 a week. Takes us about a day to drive or so, a big full day, right? A 10, 12 hour day, one person to go drive a week. And then we cold call, text immediately everyone. Whoever we can't get a hold of, whether we do multiple attempts, like 10 attempts with cold calling and 3 text attempts. Whoever we can't get a hold of, we send postcards. Whoever is on the DNC list, we'll send postcards as well. Or that we can't get phone numbers for, we'll send postcards. You know, it varies on the subsection of your driving for dollars list as well. The thing that what matters the most is you guys track your own data, because depending on your market, it's going to vary the results that you get. But my goal is to get a 4-to-1 marketing spend. So for every, let's say, $25 I spend, I want to make at least 100. What I have found with my driving for dollars list, for the most part, whether it's texting, cold calling, or postcards, my return on my marketing is a 10x. So for every dollar I spend on marketing, I generate $10. So it gives me a huge profit margin after marketing costs to pay a very, very intelligent, capable team to run the leads and run the appointments and make money off of those leads, which allows me to focus on helping other people. So I know that that gives you a ton of information, but I just want you to understand that just asking me an exact metric on postcards will depend on the list. It'll depend on your market. It'll depend on how much you've filtered that list down with texting and cold calling. So you've removed people that you can't get a hold of, or that you were able to get a hold of. So there's different factors that will affect the efficiency of your list. I mean, one of the reasons my students are so successful, right? I do have students that I coach, right? They have my cell phone, but I give them my exact systems. I give them my exact marketing system to be able to generate leads at a profitable rate, plus the negotiations process, exactly how to do it. Plus they have my cell phone. When they have a deal on the line, I can help them. So anyways, I'm just talking too much. So let's move on to the next question.
What's the best marketing method I should use to get into wholesale?
Yeah, definitely driving for dollars. Come to the training this Wednesday. We have the live training, links in the bio, where I'm going to show you guys how to build a cash buyers list. So when you do find that deal, I'm also going to be giving you my wholesaling contracts, but I will spend some time talking about finding deals. So I did a 40-day challenge where I took $1,000, did driving for dollars. That's what I used to find off-market deals that I wholesaled, and I wholesaled 3 properties off of $1,000 spend. I did 3 properties, made $93,000. So you can come to the live training. I'll talk more about that. But there's also my podcast, Driving for Dollars Mastery. Go check that out, and it'll help you understand more of how we find our deals. Okay. Sorry about that.
What is the most efficient setup on driving for dollars?
The most efficient setup with driving for dollars. So you're going to want to use an app for sure, right? So we use an app called Deal Machine. So before there was the technologies of today, you would drive around, you would find ugly houses, right? Same concept of today. But instead of using an app, you would write down the address, you'd go home, you'd look up the county recorder's website, you would pull up the information of the owner on the tax records, you'd write, put it in an Excel spreadsheet or write it down, the mailing address that may be different from the property address, and then the owner's name as well that's on the tax records. And then you would take that information and look them up and try and find a phone number or send them a piece of letter or a piece of mail saying you want to buy the house. It wasn't very efficient at all. I did this back in the day and I made a lot of money with it. That's how I started. I recruited a bunch of drivers to go help me pull that information and upload an Excel spreadsheet. I'd pay commission. That's how it all started. And then new technology of today, the app Deal Machine. If you touch, or imagine you have a Google Maps image, right? And you're driving through these neighborhoods and you see an ugly house. Literally, you just have to touch the house on your phone and it'll upload all the information in an Excel spreadsheet, including a phone number. And you pay a monthly subscription. I think our cheapest package is like $99 a month, but you can add like 1,000 rundown houses and it'll give you all of their information, including a phone number on an Excel spreadsheet ready to go. And right within the app, you can just send it. So if you guys want to try out that app, I think they have a free week trial that you can try it out. Also, if you use my discount code PIN, PIN, you guys will get $100 for free to send postcards. So definitely check that out. Okay. So PIN, PIN. So that app is essential. There's a couple functionality things with that too. It'll highlight the streets you've already been on if you hit start drive and end drive. Plus, you can pick the version of how you add the properties. You got to make sure you have the tap to add version turned on, because literally all you have to do is touch the house as you're driving along, and it'll upload the information to a spreadsheet. You should be, if you're in the right areas, add 50 to over 100 properties every single hour of driving. I know that may sound crazy to you guys that have never done this, but it is insane how efficient that system really is.
So I have an abandoned townhouse. It's been sitting there for 7 years, and I'm willing to put money into it. I just don't know if I should fix it up or flip it.
So someone has a vacant townhome for 7 years. Sounds like it's your personal property. Um, it's funny. You're asking me, do I fix it up and sell it, or do I just sell it as is? Um, you will definitely. I shouldn't say you will definitely make more if you fix it up and sell it, right? Because a lot of the times when people don't have experience dealing with contractors or doing construction themselves, a lot of the times they overpay. They spend too much money on fixing it up and they don't recover their remodel costs, right? Because they're not an expert on knowing what to fix up to increase value by a particular amount. If you took the approach of fixing it up to try and squeeze out as much as possible, that's ultimately how you'll make your most money. But I wouldn't just approach it like this would be the advice that I'd give a seller, or this would be advice I'd give my own brother, right? Or my mom, right? This is advice I'd give to anyone. So if you want to fix it up and squeeze out as much as possible, I would find a real estate agent that specializes in listing properties for sale that have been renovated. Someone that has a lot of listings, someone that actually is an experienced agent that can pull comps and knows the difference and even knows remodel costs. So the agents that list properties for flippers is who I would find. You can find those agents by going to real estate investor Facebook groups in your area and search real estate agent listing and find those agents that are consistently working with real estate investors that are real estate investor friendly. They may even flip houses themselves as also list houses. And I would get advice from them on what is the after repair value, what really needs to be fixed up. And then I'd also use those Facebook groups as well as that agent for connections for subcontractors and contractors. Never pay your contractors up front. You can buy materials that you go buy, right, and have delivered to your house for that project, so you don't give them upfront money that they walk away with. There's been too many people that have been scammed out of it. So you are going to have to deal with the hassles of managing subcontractors and handymen to fix up your house at a very good price. So that's option one. You will make the most money if you do it properly, right? If you don't do it properly, you'll make less money than just listing it or selling it to an investor. The other option is you can work with a flipper that'll buy it and turn it for a profit, or a wholesaler that will do this basically the same thing. Or you can list it with an agent as is. But the thing is, then a lot of the buyers that come around are already flippers or people that are not going to pay full retail. If it's in decent condition, just dated, you'll probably just be better off just listing it as is with an agent. It kind of just depends on the situation. If you would like to send me a DM on any of the social media platforms, I have students all across the country that specialize in helping people with situations like this. I could personally call you and have my partner Hayden, who runs all of our appointments, call you, and we could help you out as well, right? We do deals all across the country and partner with our students when we have an out-of-state deal. So I'm not sure where it is, but shoot me a DM if you would like to talk to us about your situation. I'd love to help you with it. But hopefully that gives you some understanding. And the biggest thing is you need to do what's best for you, and whoever you work with, make sure that they care about you and your situation, and they give you options and talk options, and not just try and tell you what you should do, but try and understand where you're at and give you some options and some solutions that meet your needs, right? And keep that in mind for anyone listening that's wanting to get into investing. This is about seeking to understand people and their needs and offering a solution to their needs before just telling them what they should do and trying to convince them to do something that's not necessarily in their best interest.
I know the profit would be much less, but does it work for mobile homes as well?
Yes. Yeah, we do a lot of mobile home deals. The question is, can you do this with mobile homes? I know the profit will be less, but can you do it with mobile homes? And the answer is very much yes. So mobile homes on land, it's very much the same process. Mobile homes in parks, it's a little bit different because you don't own the land. There's no actual real estate. It's VIN numbers, the way the taxes are paid off. Most title companies actually won't even help you with this. We don't even use title companies for these transactions. We usually use uh, um, our own paperwork, a bill of sale, kind of like selling a car. Paying off the taxes. Taxes are done differently. There's no sales tax on trailers for the most part. They are taxed through the city, so you're going to have to go to the county buildings and pay off taxes that way. Make sure you're not inheriting a trailer that hasn't paid taxes forever. So you got to make sure you double check that during the inspection period. But yeah, we make a lot of money with trailers and trailer parks. We do a bunch of different marketing. We do radio ads, all sorts of stuff that attracts some trailers into our leads. I'm sure we've made a couple $100,000 just this year from trailers and trailer parks. So for sure, it can totally be done. Okay, everyone, make sure you come to that live training. What I'm going to be teaching you guys is how to build a cash buyers list, because without a cash buyers list, right, even if you're a flipper, a buy and hold investor, and you're trying to find discounted houses, guys, deals that are not deals to you would be a heck of a deal for other people, and they would pay you an assignment fee. You need to have a list of cash buyers if you're going to be in the space of real estate investing, right? I like to keep properties. I like to flip houses. But what I focus on is getting offers from my cash buyers. Many times I'll have a motivated cash buyer on my cash buyers list, and they'll pay way more than I expect. And it does not make sense to keep it because the amount of profits that I make super fast makes way more sense to assign the contract. Guys, we have a $54,000 assignment fee happening tomorrow here in Utah. $54,000, literally just selling a piece of paper, right? So come to this free training. I'm going to teach you how to build this cash buyers list. I'm also going to be giving you guys my contracts. For those that come live, I'm going to be giving you guys my real estate wholesaling contracts. That's the buy and sell agreement between you and the seller. Also the contract, the assignment contract that you'll sign with your end buyer. So all the paperwork you guys need to do wholesaling, I'll be giving on this live training Wednesday evening. There's a link in the description of these lives. So make sure you guys come and join me there. I'll be sharing all this information. I'm super excited to do this. I've been working very hard at this presentation and this training to serve you guys at the highest capacity. So looking forward to seeing you guys there. Appreciate you being with me live today. We'll see you guys.